They've especially made a whole chapter about this witch. Here we are. Her name was Jane Wenham of Walkham, and basically the story really goes on about how, and so we come to Hertfordshire's most famous witch. Jane Wenham gets a chapter of her own, firstly because she was the last witch condemned to death in England, and secondly because there was an enormous quantity written about the case. See, the case. If anyone assumed that the day of the witch believer expirated with the coming of the 18th century, they needed only to look at Wenham's case to find it was not so, and though most of the events took place in a rural setting, several of the leading players were educated men. Amongst them was Francis Bragg, who in 1712 wrote a detailed booklet on the affair. At least 9 books and pamphlets were published about the case at the time, some for Jane Wenham and some against. Writers defending Wenham generally adopted one of two tactics: the logical approach in which the claims of Bragg were examined and criticised, and the religious approach in which the author seeks to demonstrate by reference to the scriptures and to classical authorities that witchcraft is non-existent. I have concentrated on 4 of them: Bragg's account and 3 of the anonymous confutations that appeared. They are entitled. Anyway, basically, if you look her up, it'll go more into her if you Google her. But at the end of the day, you can't say anything about something until you've had your own hand experience of something. It's like somebody saying to me, "Oh, by the way, have you ever jumped out of an aeroplane in a parachute?" And it would be like, well, I can't explain something that I've never tried or experienced. So I find it very, very thoroughly weird why I see certain people in life, they just cruise through their lives. They have never, ever, ever, ever had ill health. They've never, ever, ever had financial worries. And then all of a sudden, they just suddenly come unstuck in life and think, shit, where's all that come from? Because I will say that in part 3.